Again, in our case, we were pretty focused on the spa, on the pool, on the fire pit. We had never asked about things like self-cleaning. We had never asked about how many pumps we should include for a water feature. We certainly hadn't asked about the layout of the pool equipment. And it's really been notable that the people, the friends and family that do come over that have a pool, that's the first thing they notice. They don't notice the pool. They notice, wow, your equipment's laid out much more spacious, much more clean than ours is. Wow, you've got a lot more water pressure because the wind picks up our water feature, and yours seems to be pretty clean. So again, a lot of the stuff that we wouldn't have known to ask for, and stuff that it looks just as nice on day one, but I think we've got a nice strong system that we expect to be lasting well beyond day one.
Yeah, there were a lot of details that they thought of that we didn't even think of or know to think of, or questions they were asking of us, the questions that we didn't even consider. So that was all on the front end, and it wasn't something that we got into the middle of the process and then realized that, oh, we should have asked about this, or we should have considered this. And they were really thorough and thoughtful in the very beginning of all the process and the steps that it takes to build a pool and a spa. And just the layout of everything was all done on the front end and not something done just in the middle of a construction.
Yeah, even like the safety side, they put there's a finger ledge along the back of the pool that we didn't ask for, and we wouldn't have, and they didn't need us to. They just said, well, it's going in whether you like it or not, but the kids use it all the time.
Yeah.
And so now we would have never known to ask for it, but we're thrilled we have it.
Yes.
It's just a little 3 or 4 inch wide ledge that runs along the back of the pool. So if the kids are in a little bit over their head, they've got just something they can grab onto without swimming, 8 or 10 feet over to the wall. Probably not needed. We're glad we don't have to find out. But it's there.
It's there.
And again, they use it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been very positive, very thorough. I think Josh and RJ were here at the house at least twice. We were at the showroom at least 2 other times between different questions and different items on the front end. And then I think Dave was out here again with Josh. We've had a significant amount of time together in terms of making sure there were no details that we didn't discuss or any questions that we weren't comfortable with. Probably as much as anything, the technology. Our situation, we had never built a pool before, so this was new to us. We had an idea of what we wanted, but we didn't want to tell someone else who does this for a living. So we had a handful of folks. We had some friends and neighbors that had references, recommendations, and they were among them. But we asked everybody the same thing. Pretend this is your backyard. What would you want? We did want a spa, we did want a pool, and we did want a fire pit. But outside of that, make it yours, and some idea of a budget as well. But everybody came back with a different answer to that, and we really liked the Complete Backyards layout. It's very simple, it's very tight, it's very usable. But I think as much as anything, they're the only people that came back with all the technology, all the little features and items that we wouldn't have even known to ask about. No one else was really looking into adding on things that make it easier to maintain or easier to live in the backyard that we have now.
And I think just to add on to that, the way they took our design from pen to paper to a 3D rendering on their TV screen in their studio, and being able to make adjustments and changes to the design and some of the style in real time, and being able to see that and to see what our backyard would look like before they even started the work was really, it set them apart from everybody else and was really beneficial. The expanded tanning ledge is something that one of the things we changed and modified in the very beginning of the design process. We had it a little bit smaller, and then we expanded it, and it's just added to it, and it makes it a lot much nicer.
Yeah, the tanning ledge is awesome. The spray deck, which, we had a concrete patio to begin with, and then they obviously poured, another 1,000 or so square feet of patio, and it obviously would have been 2 different colors, 2 different finishes, and we knew that from day one. We said, how do we make it look consistent? And they knew the answer right away. They walked around, took a look at whether we had any doors or cabinets or things that would get in the way, and said, hey, we can't look at tile, you do have a barrier, but we've got a spray deck that's about 1/4 of an inch or less. We'll make the whole thing look like one. It's gonna have a nice texture to it, so it's not slippery. It's got a kind of a colored finish, so everything looks nice, and we're really happy with how it works, even with the kids running over it and being wet and not worrying about them slipping.
We are definitely using our backyard a lot more than what we had been previously, especially during the summer with the kids home, and in the evening when we both get home from work. It's just been a nice thing to come home to and just to sit back and relax around the fire pit or enjoy the hot tub. But yeah, we're definitely getting a lot more use out of our backyard with it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And part of it's the house layout, but coming through the front door, there's a back door right into the pool, the water feature. They've done a really nice job of laying it out so it does look nice. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it really did create a whole new area to our house. We used the backyard before, but not like this. We're here every day.
Every day.
I would recommend the complete backyard without concern. I thought they did a really nice job of being clear and concise and communicating well. There wasn't a period of time where we were concerned about what's the next step or who's in touch or what do we do now. We knew exactly what the expectations were from us as well as from them, and a rough idea of the timeline, as Mother Nature would allow. I thought they did a tremendous job of even the finished part of pool school and understanding the maintenance for the first few weeks and trying to understand, basically how to take ownership of everything.
They were great from start to finish, and just somebody that has been doing this for a long time and knows all the steps, all the things, and what it takes to build a nice pool, spa, and fire pit.
Yeah, as we said, we have friends and family that had recommended them and a couple other builders as well, but I don't think we found yet someone who's built with Complete Backyard that hasn't been happy with the finished product.
Yeah.
We had s'mores the other night and we did not get any chocolate or marshmallow on it, so that's a success.
Yes.
And but yeah, we'll definitely be using that more in the fall and the winter than we do in the hot of the summer. I'll tell you, last summer really taught us that you have to have a pool, access to a pool out here. And not that we don't have friends where we couldn't call and pop over for a bit, but it's so nice when the kids have to go to bed in 45 minutes and they want to swim, and you say, absolutely, just pop in there and I'll get you out in 35 and we'll get dry off before we go to bed.
They do like the night swims with the lights on, so
and so do we.
Fun.
My number one design priority was that the TV up on the wall would pivot to the spa so I can relax.
Awesome.
So football season will be
right here.
Fantastic. Yeah.